Welcome to the DJ Insider Podcast, sponsored by Amplified Events.
It's the only podcast where we break down insider information from our weddings, experiences, and advice from over 15 years in the wedding industry.
We're your hosts. I'm Mike Kane, owner of Amplified Events.
And I'm Chris Zart, general manager of Amplified Events.
Let's get into it. Well, welcome. We are back. And today we have a very special guest. It's Kyla Sinkiewicz. And Kyla, tell us what you do, where you work, and what you're doing.
Definitely. So I am general manager of Barrelhouse, the venue in Michigan City. We're like a rustic industrial venue. And we are on York and 9th Street.
It's right by kind of the harbor there, and by the casino. It's kind of in the downtown area
right
there.
in the middle of everything, yeah.
Really beautiful spot. As a DJ, I love it because it's the easiest load-in ever. You just pull right up. You got the garage doors.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready for you. I'm like, let's just open this thing up. Like, come on in, you know.
Heck yeah. How did you kind of get into, so you're the GM, you're the general manager. So if they're talking to Barrelhouse, they're kind of talking to you.
Oh, yeah. They've always been talking to me. I just kind of moved to be straight up Barrelhouse, and Barrelhouse is a specialty now, which is exciting, and that's kind of newer for me, but doing all the same stuff, really. Nice.
And so what is some of those stuff? You wear a lot of hats working there. What are some of the things you do on a day-to-day and then wedding day kind of thing?
Definitely. So if you were reaching out inquiring, it's me. You know, I'm getting the emails, I'm reaching out to you, I'm calling you, I'm doing the tours. So if you ever want to see the space, I'm walking you through the entire thing, giving you the rundown of how our venue works and our ceremony spaces, because we have the outdoor and the indoor.
Yes.
Day of coordinating wise, I have kind of a team. So it's me and Jackie. She's awesome. She'll take on half of them because I do all of the venue.
Yeah. You have to sleep sometime, right?
Yeah, right.
Can't work 8 days a week, you know?
Right. But so when we do a day of coordination, it's kind of like a 10-hour on-site with like 2 sessions beforehand where we're just organizing everything together, whether that's helping you with timeline suggestions or layout. And I use like a bird's eye view layout so you can kind of see everything, and I send them out to vendors too, so you know when you're coming, like, oh, I'm right here. Although DJ, you're always in the same spot. But
yeah. Well, I love that. As a DJ, we talk a lot about on the podcast about how layout is a big contributing factor to getting a good dance floor.
Oh, yeah.
If the DJ's real far away from where the dance floor is going to be, if the dance floor is like way far away from where the bar is, like that can lead to issues with keeping guests on the dance floor.
Definitely.
That is not so at Barrelhouse.
Yeah.
It is conducive to a good party.
Central. It's
yes.
like centralized, definitely.
Yes.
Your cocktail hour turns into kind of your dance floor, which is really nice. And we move everything to the edges so you have as much room as you like. Yeah. Definitely.
I mean, it's such a beautiful venue, what you guys have done with it. And it's great layout, and it's a great place to have a wedding. And I love that there's options indoor and outdoor for if the weather or whatever, what people are envisioning, you know. Yeah. So it's good options there. And it's literally the bar's right there. So it's like, it's going to be a good party.
Definitely. Yeah. With our indoor ceremonies too, I would say I'm also the person kind of on site. Like when we flip the space, I'm moving those tables. You know, I'm getting hot and sweaty back there, moving the tables for you while you're out there doing your thing, keeping it going. So
I love that. How did you get into this line of work? How did you?
Weirdly enough, who knows how I got into this? I actually, the owners are Rob and Sharon, and they are by trade like a development group. So they find these beautiful old buildings, and they just rehab them beautifully. They made this into, obviously, an awesome venue. And so I originally was doing all the stuff on their side. They grabbed me right out of college, and I went for like business and finance. So event space and event planning wasn't really like my mojo yet, but now I'm into it. But
and what year? I remember when they were opening, but I can't remember the exact year.
2020, right in COVID.
2020. Okay, yes. I remember it was around that time, but
Definitely.
I would have bet 2019, 2020, something in that.
Yeah, we started on like have you ever heard of like the bubble, basically the bubble of events, everything from COVID. All the events kind of got mashed up. So it created like this bubble. Everybody pushed off theirs until like 2021 and stuff like that. So we hit when everybody was like just trying to have their weddings originally. And like, I feel like since that bubble has popped, it's been like more calm and like makes more sense now. Like, this is how normal leads come in, you know?
It's not like a feverish rush to, we've got 80 people and we need outdoor space and indoor space. And people got to keep 6 feet while they're dancing and, you know, all that stuff.
Definitely.
So such a wild time to start in the industry. But the cool part is you get, of course, a lot of experience and you learn a lot of things. And so you said that the people who own it, they're in development. Are they, you mentioned before we started that there's kind of a big announcement. I don't know if you want to get into that at all.
Yeah, totally. So they find these beautiful old buildings that have so much potential, whether it's like gutting it out and using all of like, at Barrelhouse, we still have the original flooring. We still have, and this is all from 1871. So that's kind of crazy. I didn't realize it was that old. Yeah. And so our project right now for NWI development is an old banking building. It's a 9-story building in Hammond on Homan Avenue. And it is turning into 100 apartment units. And then the first floor is going to be this beautiful, elegant banking hall. It's where all the tellers used to work and everything. And that building was built in 1924. We're coming up on like the 100th anniversary of it. So
that's awesome. So they're going to turn an old bank in Hammond into a weddings venue space, and above it there's going to be housing units.
Yes,
that's cool.
We're hoping like we have the bridal suite at Barrelhouse. We're hoping to do a bridal suite and a groom suite, and like the apartments upstairs available to rent. There's actually a coffee shop downstairs too.
Oh, nice.
Super exciting.
Heck yeah.
And actually,
has development already started on that? Are they working? Okay. Is there like a projected date of opening, or we're still not sure?
Definitely. So like June, July is going to be when apartment rentals are going to be available.
Okay.
And then hopefully I'm trying to get some August 2024 weddings on the books.
That's awesome.
It's super exciting.
Heck yeah.
Definitely.
So if you haven't found a space yet and you're looking, there's potentially new space opening.
One of the first weddings come in.
Yes. This summer.
Definitely. You'll be like the first vision of how everything will look. It's like, it has this beautiful marble all around it. We're keeping a lot of the same characteristics to kind of obviously pay homage back to how the building was. The lighting fixtures in there are beautiful and are being like restored. The ceilings are actually imported. They're originally from Germany.
Oh wow!
So it has like they see the character and then make it happen. You know, some
of those old banks, it's very grand what they've done. You know, just beautiful. Like, and so when someone's coming in, they're going to restore that and make it gorgeous and reuse the space for something new. I mean, I assume it wasn't being used, as a bank for a long time, and so that's really cool to. Now we're bringing in jobs. We're bringing in,
definitely
events.
We're spicing up Hammond.
Yes, I love that. That's very cool, and similar to what's happened at Barrelhouse.
Definitely.
Just it was kind of a space, and now it's a brand new event space, and it's beautiful.
They just have this like eye for like great areas that just can be made even greater, if that makes any sense.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and that's really in right now too. That kind of industrial, rustic feel, and people love that, especially like. Turning something that wasn't really being used into, something new and wonderful.
Definitely.
That's cool.
So with the name of this is, I kind of explained, this is the first time we're announcing it.
Oh.
It's going to be
world premiere,
right?
yes.
It's going to be the Reserve at the bank.
Oh, perfect.
So, yeah, it pays into that old banking hall and everything. So it's super exciting.
I love that.
We don't even have our logo out yet, so I'm working on it, but we just decided this, and I was so excited to bring it to you.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, thank you for coming on and sharing that. That's awesome. The Reserve.
The Reserve at the bank. Cool. Yes.
Heck yeah. There's a lot of cool things with branding that are like really cool ideals and
oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the bank has as the apartments already has like its brandings and it's good like colors. It has like this beautiful like lighter brown, blacks, whites, all of that. So we'll see how we make it make sense within the hall. But yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, that's really exciting things. And then at Barrelhouse, we're going to be doing, is it a tasting coming up on the February? That's with kind of the couples who've already booked. And we're really excited you asked us to be a part of that, and we're really thrilled to DJ that and to help out with that. For the couples who've already booked at Barrelhouse, they do kind of a tasting, and I don't know if you want to share a little bit about that.
Definitely. Classic Catering is putting on the tasting. They're based out of Michigan, actually, and they are our exclusive caterer. They are coming in instead of doing, obviously, bridal open house plus tasting, and it's open to anyone that's booked with us, thinking about booking with us, or fully booked somewhere else and wants to see all of our vendors that we love and wants to, I just got confirmation that we'll have about 120 guests there.
Oh, fantastic.
So I got that email like right before, actually. So we'll have a great turnout.
Oh, fantastic. That's great. Full house.
Definitely. That's 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
11 to, and that's on the 25th.
25th of February, yeah.
Very cool. So through your work there, I mean, I imagine you've had crazy things happen. But this work it's rewarding and it's challenging. What are some of the rewarding things? What are some of the things you like about doing this line of work?
Definitely. I mean, when you go home at the end of the day and you had an event that just went so great, it's like you're on a high. Like you're like, all right, let's do it again. Like I don't even need to sleep. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I live for a little bit. It's that way. And then I understand that this is like a core memory for couples and their bridal party too. I mean, you're just seeing people that you've seen your entire life kind of, flourish and start their next chapter, which is exciting. And
there's honestly nothing like it, being a part of this special day in a couple's life and being an integral part into making those memories. Definitely. I think there's nothing like it. It's really cool.
And being a part of it, I mean, like, you're always that background player that's just like rooting, like, and I just love being that background person. Like, even if I'm not day of coordinating your event, I'm likely on site doing the same things I probably shouldn't be doing, but I'm gonna still help you in every way, shape, and form that I can. Yeah.
It's nice being able to do work where you can put your all into it and see that reward on the back end for the customer, for the clients that I know I worked really hard and they had this great wedding and they're married and their family and friends. This is like a big day. It's not just like a party, although, we want it to be a fun party, but there's nothing like it. It's such a cool thing. There are challenges too in doing this work. What are some things that, day to day or in the past, things that can be challenging to do this?
Yeah, it is kind of funny because I don't think everybody realizes that, like, when they are communicating, it's always with me.
Yes.
Like, it's always with me or Sharon. Like, we do this together. So sometimes it's like, well, when I toured, I talked to this person. I'm like, yeah, I remember that. Like, don't worry. I remember that exactly. And, or I did email somebody about, it was me. No worries. Like, I got you. I remember where we left off. So that's always kind of funny. Challenging wise, when I do coordinate, sometimes I think like family members will want to jump in because they're like, I've known this person my whole life, and I'm like, no, I'm actually hired to make sure that you have peace too.
Yes.
Like, don't worry about it, relax, and or we just have like the two involved aunts maybe.
Yes.
Sometimes that I don't know if she wanted her decor this way. I'm like, oh, trust me, we have gone each piece exactly where it goes. I promise it's in place, but if you want to ask, no worries.
For sure, that can definitely be, we have that too on the DJ side of things where, so-and-so, like, I know that they want this song. And I was like, well, I met with them and they said they didn't want that song,
right.
And they gave me a list of the songs they wanted. And so that can be challenging sometimes, kind of balancing that out, but also working with those people to like help. Because ideally, they are also working hard for that bride and groom to have an amazing day. And so we want to partner with them if we can. But sometimes it's like they'll try to take over. And I'm like, right. I'm being hired. I'm being paid to do this so you can enjoy the wedding. They didn't want you to work. They wanted you to enjoy it. They want us to work. And so, that could be hard to.
You can always tell, too, like, there are so many sisters. It's always the sister that's like, oh, wait, I think she forgot to say that she wanted it this way. And you always know that you're like, oh, yeah, she knows exactly what's going on. And she, if anything was missed, like that sister might actually know, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure. And it's nice because there are so many eyes on this thing. But it can be sometimes where there's too many cooks in the kitchen. You know, it's like you're bumping into each other. You're messing up. You know, if you're not a professional wedding vendor and you're there as a guest, or sometimes you're there as a family member or a maid of honor or a best man, or you're the father of the bride and you're paying for it. And of course, they are invested in that outcome. They want it to be a good. And I think some people have a hard time trusting that the people they've hired are as invested or can deliver that outcome. And so they want to kind of, I don't know what the term, micromanage or kind of oversee or kind of tinker. And I find the best we talk about their concerns, we listen to them, and we try to deliver what they want, and we make adjustments. But we always try to be flexible and work with people like that. But that can be very challenging.
Yeah, definitely. But when I feel like somebody, something like that is kind of coming up, I do always want to be like, just come to me.
Yeah.
You know, like don't feel like you have to go straight to the bride because you want her to be relaxed. You know. Yeah. Just come to me. I'm here for it. I will take all your concerns, and we can just wipe them away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's part of the job too. We're trying to put on a great day, and we want to do the behind the scenes things, so the couple doesn't have to stress about it. They've already done all the planning. Now we're in execution phase, and we want to make this event happen, and we don't want to overly involve the bride and groom where it's stressing them out. So they don't have to worry about if there's, need a sewing kit or is there extra ice or whatever, are you going to play this song? Yep, we'll play that song, that kind of.
I've pulled out the sewing kit a few different times. One of the funniest stories that I have is that we were on a rehearsal. It was one that I was coordinating. It was during rehearsal, and I felt so bad. One of the bridesmaids, the back of her jumpsuit, busted straight down the middle, right in the seam. And at first I'm like, all right, let's pull out the sewing kit. And then I'm realizing it's only an hour rehearsal. We got to kind of get back out there, get stuff going. Everyone's starting to get rowdy, And so I remembered that I had an event that I was going to after the rehearsal. They still have their rehearsal dinner to get through. Who knows if it's going to hold up. So I just pulled out my own dress that I was going to wear. And I was like, give it to me tomorrow.
Yes, wow.
She jumped in it.
Oh, my gosh. So you're outfitting these people?
Yeah, I did. That was probably one of the funniest things. And the next day I'm like, I hope she brought the dress. I really liked it. She brought it back.
Okay, good.
Definitely.
It was returned. I have had a suit jacket that was taken mistakenly, from, somebody. It was similar to what the groomsmen were wearing, not by planning, it just how it ended up. But
start writing your name on the tag.
Yeah, right.
This belongs to.
Oh, that's wild. That's another level of okay, here you go. Here's some clothes,
I surprise myself with how calm you can be because I'm like a planner person. So beforehand, I'm like, I need to get everything done, and then I go up to. To execute the day of, and I surprise myself on how calmly I can think about things like that. I was just like, well, I do have this dress here, here you go, Yeah.
Good planning, good preparation leads to good problem solving on the back end, and you're ready. You literally had an outfit ready. That was for you, but you're like, I can repurpose this.
It's so weird. I pulled out the sewing kit and I'm like, why bother? You look my size. Let's just throw it on.
For couples looking to book a venue or hire a coordinator, a planner, do you have any advice for them? Things they should look for, things they should avoid, any kind of life lessons you've learned from doing this that you could share?
Venue-wise, always have in your mind what you're looking for. If you start super broad, it can be overwhelming sometimes. I love a preferred vendors list. Always look for that preferred vendor. I know that you love to, for example, bring in your cousin that DJs,
yes.
And I get that, but there are professionals that do this, do weddings specifically. And I always suggest, obviously, moving towards that way. When looking for your venue, I would say check everywhere out. I'm a big believer in, yes, I love our venue, and it's perfect for those who choose a wedding with us. But if it's not perfect for you and that's not what your vision is, that's totally okay. Everybody has, different things, and also view multiple venues. I'm so into that. See everything that you want to see, and if you come back to us, I'm so excited to have you. But if it's not us, that's all right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's really important to kind of envision what it'll be like day of and to see lots of different options to see if that's going to be a good fit for you and your guests and your family. And
Yeah, I'm big on no obligations.
Yes,
I'm
yeah.
like, you want to see a proposal? Because sometimes proposals too, I love to give. I call it a mock proposal. It's fully your proposal, but don't feel obligated for it. That's why I call it like a mock to encourage you that you're not stuck in this just because you came to see us, and you won't ever waste my time. But yeah, I send out those mock proposals like it's, anything.
Same way, we do the same way. I kind of come at it, it sounds like you're similar, where I want to help you purchase. I want this to be a great wedding, even if it's not with us.
Definitely.
Here's what we offer. If you're looking for this kind of experience and these services, here's what we can do to make this really fun and special for you.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't fit what you're looking for, I'd love for you to find that group or that place or that DJ or whatever. As far as vendors, because you, I'm sure, see it all, because you see the good DJs, the bad, floor, all of them. Any advice for vendors looking to work at venues, Barrelhouse, things they should do, things they should avoid?
Definitely. I love when somebody comes in organically, and they just like blow me out of the water. I think that's exactly what happened when you guys first came in. I had to look back in our emails. I'm like, when did we first
December, I think, was my personal first one there, yeah.
September. I looked.
Was
it's
it?
even
Okay.
further back because I thought December too, and I was trying to think of what it was, but it was September of 22. I had barely started with the venue and everything. I had only been, 6 months in at that point, and I knew that there were kind of some preferred vendors here and there. People were
You hear names and things of different companies, and
definitely, but there was never like a set list, So it was kind of fun to curate that after seeing everybody come through.
what were some of the things that you look for as you're making that? That'd be interesting to.
Wow, you get
Sorry.
the crowd going. There's no better. Like, you just get the crowd going. Reliability is really big for me. Communication is huge. Reach out to me. I like to reach out to you, and I ask all of my weddings, even if they aren't day of coordinated, like, what vendors are coming in? Like, what can we expect?
Yeah.
It gives me a heads up, and what times are you coming, stuff like that. And I certainly don't require it. You're always welcome to come in, but I love to kind of be there and introduce you to the venue as well.
Yeah.
As much as a vendor coming in is like showing me who they are, I'm showing you who we are
Yes.
as well.
Yeah. It's a working relationship.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I would say, vendors. I get so excited to work with new vendors too. So I think that's a big thing. I feel like a lot of vendors will come in and kind of feel a little bit competitive. Like, no, I was handling this for them. And I'm like, no, we're handling, we're doing this
we're a
together.
team. Yeah.
Definitely. I'm big on the team mentality versus we're certainly not competing. We're just vendors working together, man.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that was I remember you reaching out via email, and you were very organized and professional, and you were asking for basic, I was like, oh, perfect. I like that. When a venue's on it, they're organized. I try to be responsive because I know they're like me. They want to, let's get this off. I have another task. I got another thing. I got a whole list of stuff I want to follow up on. And if DJs ghost them or somebody's ghosting their, the responses, that's not, what's it going to be like when they show
Scary.
up? Are they going to show up?
I hope. I've had one not show up before.
Oh my goodness. Scary stuff.
Definitely.
So that's really good advice. There's responsiveness, kind of a team approach. That's all things that we really do try to value it with, throwing a great party. Ultimately, are you delivering on what your customer's booking you for too?
Definitely. Like, even if I'm not coordinating, I like to use that because some people don't want to look for a coordinator. Even if I'm not coordinating, I'm like big on timeline too. Like, let's organize this timeline together. How much time do you need to set up? How much time does a photographer need them on to be doing, their private photos, whatever the case is?
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, someone that you can work with, and they're working with you on that timeline, I think is of crucial importance. Yeah, sometimes we go to venues, and it's more like a rental space. It's not a venue. It's like, hey, we rent you the room, bride and groom, you figure it out.
Right.
And so that's a lot more work on the DJ side because I have to help them coordinate a timeline and organize, and then I have to coordinate with their other vendors as well to how are we going to make this wedding great for them?
Right.
And I think a lot of people don't always realize that. And that's really that's some of the value, but that's a real good reason why you should book a venue like Barrelhouse, where there's a coordinator, there's a planner, there's somebody helping you with this day and helping organize all of those people that you hired to come
Right.
in our house,
Even if we don't have a coordinator like that day, we still have Barrelhouse associates.
Yes.
So they're there like an hour before your ceremony just to like kind of check on and make sure everything is ready to go until the end of the night.
Yeah.
So they're still there, dimming the lights. All of our lights dim in the space. Making sure restrooms are solid, like all of that more sillier stuff. Temperature is going great. Is it getting hot and sweaty on the dance floor? Let's turn that AC on,
all the things that you'll notice if it's not working right, but it takes somebody making sure it's working,
Definitely.
So we talked a little bit about kind of stories, experiences. Any fun or kind of wild, crazy things that you've seen that you could share,
I did hear about this story. Unfortunately, well, maybe fortunately, wasn't on site for this, but I did hear about like a very small. We require like our candles to always be in votives, but somebody maybe knocked over a votive, started a little brief flame.
Oh my gosh!
On a tablecloth, but it was quickly. I mean, not even a fire extinguisher needed. It was just a little water dump, and we're good. That was a pretty funny one.
What about sweet moments, things that really touched and were like, oh, that's really cool. I like how they did that, or unique.
I am like a big encourager. So we have the outdoor ceremony space. If you don't have an outdoor ceremony, it's too cold or whatever the case is, you can always have your indoor. But our outdoor ceremony space has this beautiful string lighting above it. So I always encourage to like sneak away, get under that lighting, take the photos. You're going to have a pink nose for 2 seconds, not even. Get your photos and you can run back inside. Even if it's raining, I just had a wedding in December that I actually coordinated, and they had a clear umbrella. And they took photos under the string lights with their clear umbrella, and I'm so excited to get those photos back.
That's awesome.
And then I am big on a champagne toast.
Oh.
I've seen so many beautiful like messages given by whether it's family members or thank yous to from the couple to their entire friends and family. I think it's so sweet. That would be my biggest thing, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's great. I've seen there's this kind of tradition where they'll fill up a kind of a champagne tower and they'll pour it. It's really hard to do.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying. It is. It takes a level of like planning to it, but it's pretty cool if you can get it. I had one in October that did it, and I was blown away. I was like, that is cool. That looks expensive and dangerous because I can see that all going, crashing
real
down.
Quick on the dress, on the floor, everyone's slipping down. We haven't had one at our venue. I actually don't know how we would execute that. Our bar would probably figure it out, but we do the walls.
Yeah.
We do the champagne wall.
That's perfect. Yeah.
As you're exiting cocktail hour, kind of grab your champagne and keep it moving. You can do wine on the walls if you don't prefer champagne.
Well, it's nice too. Yeah, if you have guests who want it can take it, and guests who don't, then you're not having to have staff go around and pour. And
right.
That's always a timing thing as a DJ because they're like, oh, they have a champagne toast. I would better check with catering, make sure that's out before I introduce. Because if we're going introductions right into toasts, that's going to take a minute for the staff to get that. Definitely. So that's nice to have that already done. That helps with that flow.
You reminded me of a funnier story actually with that. So our intro one time. All the bridesmaids switched dresses and suits with the groomsmen.
Oh, man.
Which was hilarious. And watching them all come in, their baggy clothes, walking in so excited. I mean, even the chaotic bridal suite, and everybody's trying to quickly switch clothes. I was like, oh no.
Did they tell you they were going to do that, or was it kind of a big surprise for everybody?
It was the biggest surprise.
Oh my gosh!
I started because I'm like, where is the entire bridal party? Cocktail hour is obviously starting to switch into dinner, and everybody's starting to sit down. And I'm like, oh, they're not in a usual lineup spot or anything yet. And I walk in, and guys are trying to get heels on, and girls are putting on the suit jackets. I'm like, very nice. This is new.
Oh, that's so fun. I've only had one of those, but it was crazy. It was such a wild, and the crowd really loved it. Did your crowd, was it similar?
Oh, yeah. They went crazy. It was a younger wedding too, so it was all friends. Yeah, let's go.
Unexpected memories. I love that.
Definitely. I think they iced someone walking out, That
group of us had to have a good time.
Yes, definitely.
And speaking of that, what are the things that you've seen, if you had themes or, Seems like the best weddings have a couple of these things in common.
Yeah.
Anything you've noticed or trends that you've seen that like,
I have seen whether it's like they bring in potted plants that just go everywhere and then they have everybody take them home like succulents. A big theme that we had that we often get asked about is like Halloween type themes. One girl had come in and she was like, I want this specific, what's it called? Specific large window. That is a really beautiful window. She wanted it to be Morticia's greenhouse themed. And she had the most beautiful greenery, ferns. There was like this mossy foliage, whatever it might be. And she did a really great theme there. I got some of those photos back too, which was super exciting for me.
that's really unique.
Yeah, definitely. Around Christmas time, some people go with the deep reds, and I love to see a deep red on our like wooden tables and brickwork. You know, I think it looks really beautiful. Fortunately for us, everything goes with brick and wood, so you can bring any color theme in, and it looks
It'll
great.
all match.
Definitely.
And you don't have to do anything too. It still looks great.
You really
That's
don't.
the nice part.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything. Oh,
Definitely. We don't even do tablecloths. You know that. We don't do tablecloths on our tables. They're just beautiful custom wooden tables that have enough character that really anyone just brings in table runners.
Yeah. I think it looks great. And honestly, it keeps the aesthetic and obviously cuts down on linen costs for the couple.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and cleaning costs for the linen. and all that.
Definitely, yeah, the linen company. I'm just really excited to take on this newer building, really. It's almost like a Barrelhouse 2.0. You know what I mean? Like, we've done it once, let's do it again. It's actually going to have a capacity of, I think it's up to 250.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what we're going to do, which our Barrelhouse is up to 200, which is great. But sometimes bringing it, like, right over that edge, because you have 220s, you have 230s, 215s, and it's like we can bring ourselves over the edge there, which is super exciting. It's also kind of a different style. It has that, obviously, marble. It doesn't have the rustic like Barrelhouse has. But yeah, more elegance brought in, definitely.
Heck yeah. I could see like lots of like company parties and roaring 20s kind of themed, you know, really classy.
Somebody wants to do and somebody on our team actually, Aaron talked about doing, almost, I don't know if it's like roaring 20s type, but like a New Year's Eve, big ball, because technically the capacity is like 390.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it just wouldn't make sense for us to tables and chairs wise, but for a standing cocktail hour, if
It's a
we
lot
could,
easier to,
imagine that, like that
that'd
many
be
people
epic.
that you love.
especially like a New Year's Eve or even like a
Exactly.
masquerade kind of thing.
Masquerade is a good one. We should plan something
Murder
like
mysteries, and you can do a lot of cool things with that old building. That's
that. Definitely, and like during the week, we can do great vendor markets. Corporate parties are always cocktail hour type, so hopefully we can do a lot with it.
heck yeah. Well, Kyla, thank you so much for coming on. This has been a really treat.
Thank you.
For couples that are looking into Barrelhouse or the revenue,
The reserve.
Sorry,
You had me for a second.
I was like, no, I know it's something with money, not revenue. The reserve, Barrelhouse, the venue, or the reserve. What's the best way they can reach out and get in touch to find out more information about that?
Yeah, you can obviously find us on Google. We have Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, TikTok. But the easiest way is always to email or fill out a contact form on our website, barrelhousethevenue.com. But yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Please come back and see us, and we'll see you in a few weeks for the tasting event. And
Real soon.
really excited.
Me too. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.